All right, folks, welcome back to the Roswell UFO Symposium. I am your co-host, Mike, with co-host Toby and co-host Shane. Yeah.
How's my mic sound now, Mike?
Your mic sounds like a mic, Shane. Good job.
All right.
So anyways, before we get started here, I just wanted to say Happy New Year to everybody. We haven't done a show in a few weeks, and we're going to get after it this year. We got a bunch of stuff going on, from projects and, amazing guests for the podcast, all sorts of great stuff. So looking forward to this year. And if you want to support the Roswell UFO Symposium, all you have to do is click the Linktree link down below. We've got, there's a merch store. You can click on all sorts of social media stuff. We're on all the social media platforms. And we appreciate, you subscribing to our YouTube channel and leaving a nice review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. So, but yeah, what's going on, guys? How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
We actually have not talked to each other since the last podcast. None of us.
I don't know who you guys are.
I know.
Shane
What's
doesn't
up,
return
guys?
text messages.
No, actually, I'm. Hey, so here's the thing. Actually, mental health wise, those dings get to me. So I put my phone on D&D, and sometimes I forget to turn it on. So that's what it is. You guys, people blow me up. Like I had a missed call from Kevin Day the other day, and I'm like, oh, that ain't good. So looking forward to the interview, by the way. Tuesday with Kevin Day. So
Tuesday, nice.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, Shane always has his phone set to Dungeons and Dragons, so he doesn't.
Not on purpose, just because.
You know he's a bard. He's got to be a bard.
So let's talk about anything recent come up that you guys find interesting within the UFO UAP topic. I think before we took a little bit of a break here for the holidays, we were gonna maybe talk about doing like a moment of contact review. We should probably still do that, but I thought that documentary wasn't bad. There's some passionate people in there, regardless if you think there was a real alien or a couple aliens or not or whatever. Something definitely happened. So yeah.
Let's start with the craziest headline that I've seen.
All right.
Russia says they shot down a UFO. Takes on that, Shane?
My only thing is, the only thing that throws me off, that gives away that it may not be a UAP UFO for me, is they shot it. I'm not saying it's not. It's just all of a sudden we can. And it's just, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to wait and see. I don't know.
Have you seen the videos?
Yeah, I saw it actually.
Have you seen the video
And
that came out?
See, I saw the video, and it reminds me actually of
Was it Putin?
kind of what I've seen.
Shirtless on a horse shooting rockets.
It could have been. I don't know. It could be, but let's wait and
Putin
see.
drone.
Now, I'm not saying it's not, because it does looks like. But I've also seen. I don't remember what it was. Somebody had posted it on Twitter, and it was essentially. It was almost like some form of a. It had propulsions all around it, but it's ball shaped. It was small, about that size maybe, and the way it flew, it could hover, and it would do shoot jets of like a fuel out with a just fire, right? And it's loud as hell though. But see, I don't know. I'm not saying it's not, but how the hell all of a sudden are they? What do you think, Mike? Have you seen the video?
I mean, I want to hear you just describe it. I want to hear you describe it. No,
Talk about the ball shooting.
I mean, I did see what you guys. I did see what
get censored now on YouTube, huh?
I did see what you guys were talking about. I mean, I don't know. I think if like what Toby was, or like you're saying, could something like that be shot down? Because you hear the explanations from our own military of the capabilities and maneuvers, and it just, it sounds like whatever we've experienced can evade easily. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I agree, Mike. That's what I'm having a hard time with is the fact that, location for one, what's going on in location, that's a strike two for me, right? And then the fact that, it's been eluding us for X amount of time, maybe I'm missing something, but that's three for me. So, and I'm pretty skeptical even about my own stuff. So, and that's part of the nightmare in my brain when it doesn't allow you to think it's what you're seeing. You're
Yeah,
continuously
Shane
thinking it's
West.
something else.
Thanks for the take,
Yeah,
Shane West.
But
that's
I mean,
right.
let's be honest. Russia is using Cold War technology still, right? Like Shane
Yeah,
saying, we have all this advanced aircraft, we have advanced drones. We can't shoot one down, but they shoot a sell by date expired missile up into the air and they magically knock one down.
yeah,
I
Well,
have to
aside
lean
from
toward the
that,
drone.
we've talked about this too. Let's say some country does have reversed engineered craft or technology or whatever. If it was Russia or China, they'd be using it right now. You would see some sort of advantage of theirs in some type of way. You wouldn't see Russia like losing to Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? Like if that was the
yeah,
case. So like I don't know. I feel
yeah.
like
You're right. No, I 100% agree with you, Mike. That's a good point. So people should understand that. So if people did have this tech that wasn't the United States, the only person that would want to keep this tech archived and secret would it be the person at the top who's already winning by standard means. And I say that because what that means is why show your ace when you're fine winning with a pair of tens, right? So Russia's definitely not that. China's definitely not that, right? So that's a damn good point, Mike.
I
That's a
mean, I
humdinger.
could see us doing that. Like if we have it, we wouldn't use it because we don't need to. We still have the best shit aside from that, you know. So
Exactly. And now the other thing is, well, you have a hard time also believing that Putin is obviously losing and he's a joke, really. So if he had that kind of technology, right, he would be absolutely using it. And we would have saw it a long time ago, some form or fashion.
Well, yeah, because I
The
mean, he
thing,
really went from like Russia's this big bear, don't poke them. They're this military super force, and then the invasion of Ukraine happened, and people were like, "Oh shit."
let me ask you, Mike, um, as far as like the topic goes, does the fact that, I mean, what is the fact that we've been seeing, I guess, recording, even governmentally, they've been hiding it, right? Since almost the beginning of freaking time, apparently. What does that tell you about the phenomenon?
I mean, I don't know. You know, the whole connection to the government thing's something that I
I
mean,
mean, do you think do you think the phenomenon, I guess, all these archetypes and all this, see, a lot of stuff that you know and you research and you talk about, I think the phenomenon actually plays into.
I
So
mean,
that's
look,
why I'm asking you.
I
Like,
mean, I think it's
I'm not
more.
saying they built the pyramids, that kind of stuff. I'm saying like worshipped as gods, right? Or
No, I
these
mean,
type of things.
well, let me give my answer. I think that all of it is psychological. I think that I'm not saying that it's made up per se, but I think that playing off the mind is a huge factor when you're talking about this stuff. You know, you could talk about we've talked about Operation Trojan Horse, the beginning of it, where they're talking about all the airships across the Midwest and the U.S. You know, we've talked about the early UFO cases, the Aurora, the Roswell, the all that kind of stuff. I mean, people are definitely seeing and definitely experiencing something. It's interesting that that idea or picture evolves as we evolve through technology too. Like what we think of as the latest technology or fantasy technology is usually what comes up during these experiences. So again, I'm not saying it doesn't exist or it's made up in the mind. However, I'm saying that the way that we interpret it is evolving along with whatever it is. So maybe it's some sort of symbol. So, you know, like Jungian archetype, like you said, archetypes. Like maybe it's some sort of symbol that we're assigning a disc or a craft or whatever to, but in reality, we can't understand or see its true nature based on the way we've evolved, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you look right now, and people like Shane, they are amazed by a cell phone in their hand. They can't stop
I'm
looking at
actually
it.
I'm tweeting this out. You know what, buddy? What do you think I'm doing? I'm actually getting ready to text this and tweet this out, letting everybody know on UFO Twitter. We're getting ready to talk about the projects, the good stuff we're up to. UFO Twitter's been up to, all the other good going on.
Yeah,
Jerk.
Bruddy.
No, I'm
Yeah,
just happen to be ignoring you guys because I want to be on my iPad in the middle of a podcast.
you just invented a word. It's
Trying
it's
to.
it's
I'm trying to
bro
also
buddy.
I'm
It's
trying to add
called
some people and
Bruddy.
get some cool people. Who should I add? Who should I try to invite to come watch? Tyler? I'm doing Tyler right now.
Oh my god, there we go.
Right now,
No, and
there's Tyler Henry. Okay. Now, who else?
okay. You take
Rob
your
and
medicine,
Shannon.
old man.
But yeah, I don't know. I know you guys joke around and say I'm more skeptical, but I'm more skeptical because, like I said, it's human. Like if you had something,
That's good though.
if you had something that advanced, not many people, unless there's a system in place like what we're mentioning, some sort of secret, whatever. Not many people would be able to keep that under wraps, in my opinion.
I
Well, yeah, I
agree.
mean, it's the ultimate weapon, right? Like you say the Tic Tacs were ours, you cruise one of those around a war zone, and people are like, "Oh shit, we better put our weapons down. If not,
Yeah, or
we're
let's
done."
say Putin had a UFO. You think that this guy, if he had one, that he wouldn't be using it or like flaunting it around, like
The man can't even get a
flossing in his.
McDonald's. Come on.
Well, I mean, there's reports coming out within the last couple of days saying that he's probably gonna be gone very soon from cancer. So
Who knows though?
I
I
don't
mean,
know if
that could
that's
all
true.
be. It could be something
Chase
else.
has
I'm
an
almost
interesting
finished, and I can
point.
get to talking. I can get the yapping. I'm trying to, get as many people. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a
But I'm just
producer,
saying, like, think about like these
as a podcaster.
authoritarians or dictator types. Like, if they had that shit, they would be using it. There's no question in my mind. It's not like, oh, we're gonna
I
hold
agree.
that. Like, they're talking about using like nuclear weapons to destroy people. Like, you don't think that they'll use something like a UFO? You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's where I become more skeptical that there's all these recovery crafts out there. I'm not saying they don't exist or we don't have one or whatever. I'm saying that I don't think that they're as prevalent or all these countries have them or something along those lines.
Personally, I'm 100% convinced just on the things I've heard from people that lived in Roswell when the crash happened and sources I've talked to. I think we definitely do have recovered craft, and I think most countries do. Whether they were able to reverse engineer it or not, that's a whole nother question. I mean, I think Lou Elizondo gave a perfect analogy. If a 747 crashes in the rainforest and it's a tribe that's never been contacted by anybody on the outside before, they're not going to know what it is. They may turn it into a shelter and be like, "Oh wow, look at this amazing gift we received." If something's that much more advanced than us, we'd probably look at it the same. Maybe, "Oh wow, look at these wires. Oh, they're fiber optics. We'll turn them into use something for networking." I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you talk about like people getting ideas or downloading ideas or whatever, it's always like via consciousness. So like the great geniuses, the people coming up, you mentioned fiber optics or transistors and different things like that. You'd see more of like visionary thinking or somebody like meditating or doing a psychedelic or getting an altered state of consciousness and then coming up with that idea. You don't really see people like, oh, I was taken up into a craft and then I came down and I discovered the double helix or I invented the transistor. It's usually people that have had what they feel like is some connection to something metaphysical, and then that's what comes out of it. So
Yeah, and then you have, I think, was it Jim Peniston that said during the Rendlesham Forest incident when he approached the craft, he touched it and binary code downloaded. I, I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all.
yeah, are we supposed to be talking to that one guy, the Burrows or whatever?
Yeah, actually, yeah, we will have John Burroughs on. I've
So we
talked
can
to him
ask
in
him about
person.
I
that.
look
But
forward to that actually
I
too.
thought the way that I've heard that story went down is that whole download of the binary code that correlated, and then like Linda Moulton Howe was on an episode of Ancient Aliens with a computer programmer, and they're like, let's decode this binary, and they're like, oh, these are all locations of megalithic structures from across the world. Now, I don't think Burroughs is on board with that narrative, if I'm mistaken. I think he said that was either made up later or came to Peniston later, or I don't think they're on the same page about that.
Yeah, my understanding is nobody knew about that until years down the road. So, I mean, if it happened instantaneous right at the event, and he didn't bring it up for how many years, and then I don't know. To me, it just never added up. And I guess, like you said, we can ask John Burroughs when we have him on, but I I don't buy it.
Yeah. Well,
I'd
and
like to. I want to talk. I'm looking forward to talking to
you're looking forward to
Burroughs.
talking? You're not. We're going to mute you
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
looking forward to talking to Burroughs just from the point of view just of the VA, the battle with the VA, and then what that win kind of actually means. I mean, but no one really talks about it really.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating. Could you imagine not being able to see your own medical records
Yeah, it
because
sucks.
they're so
I mean, no, I
classified you
mean,
can't access them?
I
Like,
kinda because like I said, the VA is a nightmare. I just got Wounded Warrior literally just fixed a 3-year nightmare that's a common occurrence at the VA for me. And it's been going on for 3 years because of the pandemic. So I can definitely see it's all about them. It's bureaucracy, and it's also about the country and protect them. So again, the number U is nothing compared to the overall government. I'm a patriot, but again, they'll do that all day long. People need to understand that, just like they will lie to you about disclosure,
I mean,
about
didn't
having
it take
craft in bodies.
Senator John McCain to come forward and help Burroughs to actually get the care he needed?
Yeah,
Yeah, that to me
John,
that's crazy.
John
If
McCain.
there's smoke, there's fire. That's all I think.
That's crazy too. And here's the thing though. I do believe John McCain at the time was he on the Gang of Eight at the time, I think. That's the only reason he was able to even kind of get this to go through because he kind of he was the closest you could get. The Gang of Eight should always have access to all those programs. So essentially, this is the cut and dry of it. Anyone that wants to know about what means legal, what's the difference between a legal and illegal program? An illegal program is anything that does not have checks and balances, that people who are not elected do not oversee it. So a legal program means that it has checks and balances. It's going to have, I do believe the Gang of Eight are the ones that are allowed to see those, and there are specific people designated and compartmentalized, right? So for some of this stuff. But I'm a firm believer that this stuff, for at least who knows how long, has been controlled by people that aren't elected, decided whether it's disclosed, hidden, um, what technology goes to what company to advance them. And by that I mean, if they were giving them out, like if we had Crash Craft, and I'm on firm believer they're got to be in civilian hands to keep them quiet. So someone got an edge somewhere,
Oh,
even
I
if multiple companies got an edge. Go ahead, Tobes.
agree 100%. I think it was all pushed out to the private sector. There's no government accountability then. Yeah, they can still work with the government to use it, but you're not going to go searching through FOIAs and having legislators and senators, setting up committees to find it because you know what? That's a private company, a private entity. You're not privy to that information. And just from everything I've heard, it did all move into that. But I mean, we don't know, but it seems to point that way.
Yeah. I mean, and it doesn't even, for me with the retrieval, whether it's alien, like the other thing is like humans are interesting too. I mean, the airship thing's interesting from the sense of where they're advanced humans, like more advanced, like meaning that like, okay, so we live in a society right now where we think we know. You think you know all the top technology, right, Toby? You know uh, the stealth bomber. You know the latest. What's the name of the one that they just unveiled recently? You know somewhat, mostly what's in the sky or whatever like that. But
It's
once in a
called Shane.
while, we'll see crazy shit that we can't explain, that we don't know what it is or where it came from. Same thing was happening, same thing's always been happening. So like that's what I'm saying. Like, is there always some group of humans that's more advanced than others and the rest of the people are always living in a cargo cult? Is it a scenario in which again our mind is trying to catch up and playing put the pieces together in a way that we can understand? I don't know. I don't have any of those answers, but I think that that's the way to approach it. I don't think I don't think it's helping anybody when they say that, they for sure know this or for sure know that because somebody told them this or somebody told them that. I think we have to
No, I agree.
apply epistemology, which is the theory of knowledge. How do we know what we know? So
How do we bring people? That's a good point, Mike. So let me ask you this. This day and age, you and I know all too well about the whole problem with facts, science, things like that. So how do you bring people over that you still got to utilize that? But, for example, where I fall on the woo train when I know that we don't have science for some of that. What do we do there?
Oh, I mean, people will speculate. That's what they're. But I think that there's speculation grounded in possibility and reality, and then there's speculation, which is just pure speculation. It's like you might as well just come up with a science fiction story. So.
What? We're going to fight, dude. When I see in Roswell, bro, we are going to so fight, bro. You're
I'll
lucky
have
I'm
the
only
company
3
rent
foot
out a
tall.
boxing
You're so
ring.
lucky I'm only 3 foot tall.
Yeah,
I mean,
if
why?
anybody's been
What did
watching
I say
Twitter
that makes you
lately,
so mad?
anybody's been
Everything.
watching Twitter lately, you've
Just
seen
complete.
to scale representations of you, Shane.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I'm just giving you shit, Mike. So
Yeah.
I usually just
Speaking
give
of
you crap
Roswell,
because here's the thing. That's super important. Even Mick West, they're important. Now, Mick may go a little overboard with some of his analysis, but we currently, who pulls you back from the edge? Not everything's UFOs. Without people who are skeptical, use science and these things that we use to keep our feet in non-la la land, right?
I mean, we have people on UFO Twitter saying clouds are UFOs. So,
Birds.
I've
I
seen
mean,
no.
it gets
yeah,
whatever.
birds aren't real. Bugs are like that's what some of these people that kills me. It's like that clearly is a bird. It clearly is a bug. What are we doing here? Why are we wasting our time with this shit? But I mean, whatever. That's not my fault.
What do you think, both of you guys? Let me ask you. What do you think the greater implications of the phenomenon are? Like, if we somehow if our alien overlords decide to disclose to us, bless you. If they decide to disclose to us, right? What do you think is the implications to society and to I guess people as on a personal level?
More space pancakes.
You're such a fucking.
I mean,
Can't say that right.
the implication is that there's, I would say, not all, because I do talk to people that's not the case, but most of the people have substituted this with religion or their version of spirituality or some hope for something greater beyond this mundane reality, and they've latched on to this topic in the sense that like they think that if we can figure out what UFOs or aliens are, it has some sort of greater meaning in the bigger picture, whether it be we'll find out what happens when we die, if anything happens, or if there's a God or whatever. But excuse me, we might just be passing it off in the sense that like, so for instance, when you say, well, how did life arise on Earth? Well, you could say abiogenesis, which is what a lot of scientists believe, that life arose here on this planet. And then you have some people say, no, panspermia. Life already was, prevalent throughout the universe, and the building blocks or the organic compounds landed here via chondritic meteorite or whatever, and then but the saying panspermia is just passing it off, and I think that that's the same thing, kind of what we're talking about, that it's not, we're saying, I don't know how to say this in the way that I want to, but we're basically saying that these things exist, probability, from a probability standpoint, right? Like aliens or some sort of life exists, but we don't know that for sure. We're assuming that based on math and what we know and what we've experienced throughout life. And then you take into account people having all these weird experiences that they can't explain, and seeing grays and aliens and spaceships and UFOs and things like that. So if those two, I think we conflate things together, they could be two completely different phenomena, in the sense that, like, physical aliens could exist, and what we're experiencing here on this earth could be somehow connected to our consciousness, or something even weird that we don't even know about, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. Now, Toby, answer the question. Whoever wins this gets a prize.
If the prize is you, I'm not going to answer.
That was the prize. You win anyway, sweets.
Well, guess what? If I can point the right direction, Mike, he's all yours. No, I think, I don't know, you hear stories about the big holdup in the Pentagon and government about disclosure is this hyper-religious people think that they're actually demons. They don't want to bring them forward. I noticed in the comments, Horace actually said, I think it would be an announcement like the James Webb Telescope, and then they'd just be there. And I think earlier he said, if they disclose, I think there would be some sort of mass reveal and people would lose their shit. Oh, can I say shit? I guess I just did.
You can.
You did.
And I already have. I mean, the problem, again, with even that. So if they came out, let's say, and who's making this announcement? Because if it's like somehow through the government, is it then going to become politicized, which is, I think, a massive problem if it does become politicized. Because that's something that shouldn't be politicized at all. It should be a human thing that brings people together, not divide people even more through, maybe you have certain people saying, oh, they're demons and we got to protect ourselves. And then you have the other side saying, no, they're light beings and they're going to save us or help us. And we, so it's like that could easily be politicized. So I don't know.
So let me pose this to you, both of you. You're both going to be here in March and hopefully again in July. I know someone that has coordinates of what is allegedly a second crash site from July 1947. Apparently, metal has been dug up there and sent off to universities. I mean, you guys both know who I'm talking about. So if we were to go there and we found metal showing anomalous, properties, like say you fold it up and it unfolds, what would that change your opinion any? If you saw something that you really couldn't explain in person?
Yeah, I mean, that would change my mind. But then what I think
Wait.
we should do with it is we should turn that metal into a pipe, find a bufo toad, extract the DMT, and then smoke DMT out of that pipe at the site and see if we can connect
Wait,
with the
for
aliens.
real, Tobes? Wait, let me ask you a question. Do you think
Yeah,
that place has been metal detected out?
No, honestly, this place hasn't been searched it's been searched by hardly anyone.
Because I promise you, this bad boy will find it.
I'm just saying, we have the resources. We have a
Did
camera
you see
crew
when that
that's
went
gonna
down
be
by
here.
his crotch? It was like, do you have a chastity
'Cause
belt on?
I got balls of steel.
Yeah.
I got balls of steel. Matter of fact, that's what you're seeing up there flying around, those metal balls.
Well, let's ask the chat. Would you
for
guys be
Christmas.
interested in us doing that and documenting it? Would you watch that?
But
Kay
yeah, I
said
mean,
no,
back
it's
back to my point though too, is like I said, I don't think people I'll say most, I'll go as far as to say, I don't think most of the people are actually interested in aliens. I think has to do with the bigger picture. Like I think that it has to do with more of like a God of the gaps, religion of the gaps, now turning into alien or UFO of the gaps, in the sense that, you know, this is evidence that there's more than what meets the eye, and maybe these people are using that to fulfill their spiritual goal, if you will. I don't know. That's just what I think.
Chase just texted me yes. So you
Hey,
guys take that for what
Chase,
it is.
since you're texting and you're watching, did you test your stuff out? Because you can be on. We want you on here. We want to interview just you, Chase. Let me ask you
You
guys
can hop
this.
on here right now, Chase.
Yeah, let me ask you guys this. How much disinformation do you guys think is involved in the phenomenon on UFO Twitter as a whole? And let's not say who we think's given disinformation, because I'm not worried about controversy, but it's just bullshit, anyway, because I may have to beat some people up in here. You know how that goes.
Yeah, I know for a fact there is.
Yeah, I mean, there's disinformation everywhere, and whether you're
Please don't
talking
say any names either, guys, and Greer is one of them.
to whether you're talking to insiders or just regular people, everybody knows there is to some degree, and I think people like Doty and the things they've done in the past is always going to leave people skeptical about anybody that's coming forward with supposed insider knowledge or information. And I feel like somebody will always be there to muddy the waters. Get off your damn phone, Shane.
Again, I'm in the chat right now. Somebody's got to do this stuff.
I
I'm in the
mean,
chat talking to my family that's up in here supporting us there, Toby. What you want me to tell them? Toby said screw off, please?
You
look,
can
there's a
tell
lot
them
of
Shane's going to send them all $50 gift certificate.
there's a lot of talk of these alphabets and those alphabets, and this person's paying these people to say this or do this, or I think that all that shit exists. I think there, when you're in Twitter spaces, I've mentioned this before, there's probably people that work for Twitter. There's probably people that work for alphabets. There's probably people that work for the government. There's probably people, you name it. There's other countries. There's all sorts of people interacting with people to gain information and data. And I don't think that I think that things that I've been preaching on Mind Escape podcast for the last, we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary, and Shane and Toby jumped in on that episode. But that's the whole point of that podcast, is let's talk about the mysteries of life and philosophy behind it, but let's talk about it in a credible way, through what we know. Like, how can we prove this? How do we know what we know, kind of a thing. And I think that not enough people on Twitter do that. So, and I've been trying to push that for a while. Like, I don't know who's behind all these programs, if they are, or if they're trying to put credible stuff out there, if they're not. But why do we want to be losers? Why do we want our people to be dumber or misinformed or whatever? Like, we should really think about that, because if we want to compete on the bigger picture and the bigger scale of the world, we should want the smartest, most intelligent, most informed people. Does that start with teaching philosophy in elementary and middle school? I think it does. But I also think that they can start by not fucking with people too. I think
I agree.
That's part of it as well.
Mike, I want to say this. One of the most impressive things about you, your handle on philosophy, because I love philosophy, and I'm sad that it wasn't until after my experience that I actually got this interest in learning and philosophy and all these other things, because I missed out on a lot. And I always thought, never said it out loud until I heard you, like just now, like kids, if they started kids learning philosophy in school, I mean, break down what philosophy is for the viewers. I mean, some of them know, but not all of them know the applications and what it actually is.
Philosophy, the word just literally transcribes from ancient Greek to love of wisdom. And just a basic breakdown, philosophy is actually the precursor for science. Thales was known as the first natural philosopher, aka scientist, and he was a pre-Socratic, which means he lived before Socrates in ancient Greece. And you have the pre-Socratics, which are the people before Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle. kind of saying, no, 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 Zeus and Poseidon and all these gods aren't responsible for these natural phenomena like the ocean knocking a ship or whatever. It's actually, there's a natural explanation for it, and here's what that natural explanation is. And then you have that grow, and then that, you still have philosophy, but then that natural philosophy or observation turns into what we know as science and via the scientific method and stuff like that. So the problem I see in modern society is you have a lot of scientists that don't really even understand philosophy, and you have philosophers who don't always grasp on to the science. So I think, like anything else, it's people not listening to each other, talking over each other, scientists thinking that they're past philosophy, they don't need it, whatever the case may be. But my whole point was, we're not giving, if we want to be a country of champions, we're not giving our people the tools to succeed, which would be the way to think about things, like think critically. Like, everybody doesn't have to be a nerd, a UFO nerd, a book nerd, or whatever, but to have the general ideas of how to talk about these things, I think that that's important. So
The way I look at philosophy is this: someone can tell you how the world works via Bible, parents, whatever, or you learn philosophy and you really learn how the world works. And by that, I'm talking about some of the very meta, some of the important shit that really matters. And I think it's one of the most important things that I ever discovered, though. I can't believe I missed out on that most of my life either. I just wanted to thank, right now, actually, I'm thinking about it too, people in our chat, our family, that coming up in here. Do me a solid, retweet this, tell more people get in here. I'm going to start talking about experience related to UAP med, and like the trauma that can happen from experiences that can go unattended, right? So get some more people up in here. Tonight we're going to talk about some of the good stuff that we're doing, like from UFO Twitter Week on to our different projects, the documentary and things like that. We're going to talk about positive things that we're doing. This is my family up in here, and these two guys are my brothers, so I'm glad you guys are all up in here.
and we won't have to talk about it, but just to address all the negative stuff that's been going down. I mean, I can speak for Shane and Toby when I say fuck all. No, I'm joking. No, I can speak for Shane and Toby when I say we had no idea about a lot of that stuff, and once we found out, we're like, fuck this is crazy shit. So we're staying out of it purposefully, because I mean, I feel like, people that I thought that I knew, I don't know. I don't know, apparently.
Well, talking about it's not exactly staying out of it.
No, but
Yeah, that's not even.
no, I'm just, no, I want to make the, I'm making the point that I'm just saying that we all try and stay away from the drama, but sometimes it is I wanted to make this point, which is it's still the internet, and unless you really know somebody, you don't really know them, and yeah, so.
Yeah, no, you're right. I can say this. Oh shit, didn't mean to do that. I could say shit. But I was going to say that one of the disappointments is, for me, was that drama. Actually, they used the hashtag during our really positive thing that we were doing, and we did it. We did a positive thing, guys. So the people in the chat, huge part of that. And I also wanted to shout out Astral, Klaus. Did you see that freaking Tom DeLonge shouted out Klaus? That's badass as shit. But hey, we knew it before he was cool, right? Estimate, we knew it before anybody else, right? Because again, we recognize people who are doing positive things for the community, and that's what we're talking about tonight up in here. So it's all good, and all I care about is this message.
I mean, I'm going to go negative. Tom DeLonge doesn't know anything about UFOs. Continue.
And that doesn't matter, but that gets the people who do exposure. My point is, people that get this message out in multiple formats, different formats, that's important. Sometimes it takes Barack Obama doing the Betty and Barney Hill, but doing it more about the interracial relationship, right? I get that. But that also brings people, wait, is this real? That brings people on board. That's super important. Do you guys not think so? You have to have some entertainment, because some of this can get dark, deep, and crazy. crickets.
I don't know where you're going with the dark,
your
deep,
viewer
and
count just
crazy,
dropped.
but
Well, you made a point earlier. You talked about. Hold on a second. You talked about the the airships, right? The space pancakes airships is one of them. The vastness of experiences, and then you take those experiences and the difference between those experiences, like Valet talks about, Keel talks about, that says a couple different things, in my opinion. And I mean, it could be a multitude of entities we are dealing with. It could be, go ahead, Mike. Just
what?
got your text.
You needed Toby here to.
No, I just got your text and it threw me off. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? What happened to Toby?
I don't know. He said he needed to do something. I think he's. Yeah.
That's hey, you know what? It's okay. When I talk, people typically leave the room, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, if he needs to do illegal things off the screen, I mean, whatever.
Hey,
Who am I?
We all do sometimes. I just happen to get mine done earlier in the day.
No, I mean, so yeah, man. I mean, this whole thing's weird. I've been watching it the whole time. I mean, I literally joined Twitter like right after that article came out. Not because of I didn't know anything about that article. I just joined Twitter for Mind Escape to promote the podcast and stuff like that. And then I saw this whole, which I was interested in UFOs. I saw this whole thing going down. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And yeah.
Hey, tell everybody about your documentary, because let's talk about the synchronicities, about how I met you, and the stuff we had talked about on your podcast the other day, which is Mind Escape's amazing, by the way, guys. Check that shit out.
Yeah, I mean, the documentary's coming out. It's going to be premiered at the Roswell UFO Expo March 10th through 12th. I think Toby said that they're going to play it twice, I believe he said there that weekend. And yeah, so it's coming along real nice. We've got it edited down to like 3.5 hours now, which we still need to cut like another hour. And yeah, I mean, the whole point of the documentary is to talk about the stuff I've been talking about, which is stuff having to do with the mind and our own minds, and how can we trust the things that we experience and perceive. And again, not that they're not real or not there, but basically the documentary is about letting people explain their sightings or experiences or trip report or whatever entity experience or whatever. Let them tell that in the most compelling way possible. And like most people experience something like this at some point in their life, whether it be a UFO in the sky or an entity sitting on their chest, whether it be sleep paralysis or something else, stuff like that. And I just want to let people tell their story and not like frame it, not be like, see, all this stuff exists, or be like, see, these people are crazy. It's just like I'm presenting people's story and allowing them to tell it, while also, I guess, curating it in a way that frames it in a sense that makes it seem more along the lines of what I think it is, which is like connected to like mystery and mystery tradition stuff and things like that, as opposed to pop culture ideas of aliens and UFOs and things like that. Like, I think it's more esoteric and occult than it is pop culture, and I think that that's kind of the way that it's going to be portrayed in this. And it's, the documentary is called As Within, So Without, from UFOs to DMT, and that comes from, most people don't know, but that the saying as above, so below, that's the second part to it, which is as within, so without. And I thought, yeah, you could say as above, so below, but what does that have to do with UFOs being up in the air and down below? I mean, I guess you could make some sort of connection there, but as within, so without, I thought was very, very applicable, because the phenomena is a reflection of what we're into and stuff like that. Like, in terms of, you could talk about the passport to Magonia or the control system stuff or any of that stuff. And I feel like a lot of it's kind of like mirroring um, our internal state or our internal mind, or maybe you're studying grays and then all of a sudden you have an experience at night and it's a gray, or stuff like that. So I just wanted to make those connections while also again letting people tell their stories, because a lot of these people have weird stories and they've never told anybody about it.
Okay,
So
you just said that. How'd you meet me?
who are you again? No, I so Shane reached out to me and said he really liked Mind Escape, and then we just started talking from there, doing like Twitter Spaces and stuff like that. And he started showing me all these like orb videos and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, And then, yeah, we just started hitting it off, and pretty much here we are now. He lured me into doing this podcast with him, and
I did. I trapped you, bro.
he trapped.
You know what though? Again, I'm in his documentary. I'm super psyched about this. So, his documentary, I can't begin to explain the synchronicities that led me to this point, right? So, we'll kind of talk a little bit about it. So, if you have questions, I'll check in chat. Put them in chat as I go along. Mike may have some, and Mike may have something he wants to talk about that bring up as I go through it, because they'll kind of lead into the whole UAP med thing, right? So I met Mike through the spaces. I started doing spaces with Sam, Tupacabra, and stuff like that, and then I ended up meeting Mike, and I was like, this guy's smart as hell. He likes philosophy, a lot of things I do. Fish, I like fish as well. And I shared my experience with him, and he was talking about how they were doing a documentary, and they, later on, we eventually talked about adding me later on to this, right? So I made some of the videos for this documentary, and my experience has been going on this entire time. So it still continues to this day, Yakima Valley. You can check out the book, I think it's Earthlight Theory, the Yakima Valley UFO Flaps is what it's called, I think, it's by Dr. Greg Long. So as I stumble through 2 years of heck, some of the worst times of my life, right? Not knowing what I was experiencing. Because again, I didn't know it was UAP or what a UAP was. I thought I was being stalked by humans, and I was on the border of being put in institutionalized for being schizophrenic. And it took a doctor saying you don't turn schizophrenic at your age, and all these, the videos and all these other things, right? So it was a shit show. Because again, we have a very, I guess you'd say, a big gap between what even the basic population believes and you can say to doctors and mental health professionals. So as I'm going through, I guess, this experience, it's pretty traumatic. I don't know what's going on. I got to the point, probably one of my lowest points, probably about, I don't know, about a year and a half ago. Probably thought about taking my life for the first time, and I've been through quite a bit. But again, to survive so much, and then all of a sudden for everyone to say you're crazy, what you're recording's not that, all these other things happening in my life. And I also knew I couldn't talk to my doctors, because I'd left care for Wounded Warrior not too long before, but I'd also went after that to some VA care for inpatient for a minute. So couldn't figure out what it was, and it was very traumatic. And I tell you that even now, I wonder about what I'm seeing, right? Because there's really no way, the government doesn't validate it. So as I stumble through all of this, I end up becoming friends with Toby. Mike. Toby reaches out and wants to do a documentary. First, he reaches out about doing prospecting, and I didn't think anything of it at the time. So I was like, oh, hell yeah, because I love to prospect. And shout out to Kevin Day, because I'll be talking to him on Tuesday. I'll be doing an interview. That'll be cool as hell. And I hope to be talking some prospecting too, just on the, on the side. But when he did, I was like, yeah, let's do a podcast. I reached out to Mike because Mike had asked me to help on his, and I had been for a minute, and we've been friends. And I was still going through my experience, still recording orbs, seeing cigar-shaped craft, triangle craft, wife, kids, all of them, all of them seeing that, right? So, as this is all going on, I end up finding, I guess you would say, a book. And the only reason I found the book is I was in UAP Med. UAP Med's actually an organization that's just an outreach organization for mental health and medical professionals, just to let them know the phenomenon exists, to let them know, hey, think about this real quick, because you could be giving somebody medication, or they could be getting a diagnosis that they don't necessarily understand. And then, Toby, I just got your text too. Stop texting me. I'm going to put you guys on Do Not Disturb. You're going to throw me off. Anyway, great, Toby, I just lost you, bro. I just lost where the fuck I was at. I'll get right back to you. Hold on.
We have a game we play during these podcasts. Who can get who to slip up?
Oh, and that just worked too, man.
Stuff.
Anyway, back to it. Now I remember where it was. You threw me off. I ended up at this documentary. In the documentary, I'm talking to your cousin Maurice and you in I guess it's a 3-person text, and they're asking for, say B-roll. So I send them some videos and a couple of my videos of the orbs or whatnot. And Maurice happens to say, hey, that kind of looks like, or no, you'd like Dr. Greg. He talks about plasma balls all the time. And Mike had made the comment, yeah, he talks about plasma balls in Yakima Valley. Well, I just so happened to post the book. He needs to read this book. And because, again, the book was what I guess really opened up that what I was seeing was real, right? Because they were talking about it for years. Yakima Nation's been talking about whatever this is for years. So I just so happened to be in a documentary with the one guy who wrote the book on my experience, my location, the one area. Through my experience, I met Mike, and that's just crazy as all get out. So I can't begin to explain it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird. So like, Shane, I was watching the cut Maurice sent me from Dr. Greg Little's portion of the documentary, and he's written a ton of books, but yeah, I mean, he talks a lot about plasma and plasmoids and stuff like that. And he was talking about Yakima Valley, and I remember Shane, because I mean, that's a unique word. I remember Shane mentioning that. I'm like, that sounds like where Shane's from. So I just text Shane. I'm like, is this what you were talking about? He's like, yeah. So we're going to put Shane and Dr. Gregory back to back in the documentary because they, same area, same thing, kind of a thing. So. Toby,
no, you don't have nothing to say, but you got lots of text, Toby.
Yeah, Toby.
Yeah, Toby.
You're dead, really?
You threw me completely off. Well, again, let me ask you this. Okay, anybody inside? So here's a couple questions we had in the chat. This is what I'm doing, Toby. This is what it's required to do, Toby. So don't give me shit again for being on my phone. There are people put questions in the chat. Have you captured the cigar-shaped craft on video? Actually, no, I have not. But I didn't realize it was cigar-shaped craft until later on. And the only reason I realized that was because it started out as a series of pulses going across the sky in all directions, different heights, and different amounts of pulses. So it'd be 1, 5, 3, just random numbers. Like, what the hell? That can't be a satellite. I mean, obviously not. And then one evening, my wife and kids saw it with me. And then another evening following, as I'm sitting there, I'm watching this same thing go on. And as it goes to one part of the sky, I look up and it's not 1, it's like 7. And it's clear that as there's enough, as it's pulsing, the whole thing's lighting up. And I could tell there was cigar shaped. And that's when I was like, oh, it's cigar shaped. It's not just a little light. So what I thought was seemingly some little dark object that would pulse was cigar shaped and was just pulsing from front to back at one time. So it kind of threw me off a little bit, but I haven't got a video of it. And here's the only reason. I guess I'm lazy. That's the only reason. I'll sit outside.
Good reason.
And I get dumbfounded. Well, I check it out. I got my new camera. I've just got to get a telephoto lens on for it. I mean, I got the cinematic lens. I got to get a telephoto because that's got our IR capabilities. But what ends up happening is this. So I will promise you guys, I'm working my butt off because I do go out to try and I end up catching. Now I have this ability, but most of the time it's like for most people, it's accidental. You're doing something else and it catches you off guard completely. I think when I saw those cigar shapes for the first time, I was actually in a space doing a space. And that happened multiple times. And I'd end up canceling or locking out the space or just closing the space on accident trying to record it. So what happens is you do get in awe. The first time I see something, this sounds silly because I've seen enough of stuff, right? So whenever I see something for the first time, I'm almost dumbfounded to the point I'm like, I've been going through an experience for 3 years and still I'll see things sometimes. Like when the first time I saw a cigar, I'm like, that's not real. What is that? That's not real. So it only gets deeper. I know I've seen a cigar shaped craft. I'm pretty sure my wife has recorded the same craft I saw probably 3, 4, 5 months earlier over the house at one point. And I was just like, it was a series of 3 bright white lights. And then she brings a video, a shaky ass video, but a video coming home from no safety lights, things like that. So it's like, no on that question. Toby, you got any problems with me answering more questions? There are no more questions. You're okay, Toby.
Well, no, I mean to that point though, I think that I've told this story maybe a couple times. I don't really consider this like a UFO, but I don't know what the fuck this experience was. So how long ago was this? Like 7 or 8 years ago, I was going to band practice at my drummer's house, and he lived by Great Lakes Naval Station, which is like outside of Chicago, like north of Chicago. And during when I first walked into his house, we're just hanging out or whatever. We normally would do the same thing as we'd go in. I'd say, hey, what's going on? Get something to drink. And then we all go down and smoke and then start band practice. Well, one day I walked into his house. This was the day after like one of his close friends had passed away in Colorado. And we're just standing there and talking. He was, like kind of melancholy or whatever. And then all of a sudden we saw these 2 like little like light balls that would like float, like lights that have the fans around them in people's like kitchens and stuff like that. Like it's just like a light fan combo. I was looking up at that and there was these little like 2 white orbs, and they would spin around the outer rim. We turned all the lights off. We closed all the windows. I thought it was him messing with me or some sort of like laser or flash or something. No, I mean, he showed me his hands. I was almost like somebody trying to figure out a magic trick. I'm like, what the hell is going on? What is this? These 2 little like orbs like floating around. And yeah, I couldn't come up with a rational, reasonable explanation. We tried closing things and putting my hand over the path of these things, and I didn't really see. I don't know. These things were probably the size of a silver dollar in size, and there's 2 of them. I mean, this guy, my drummer, was convinced that they were his dead friend coming back to visit or something like that. But I don't know. Bizarre stuff. I don't know what to make of that. It could, I guess, still have been some light, but all the windows were closed. The lights were turned off. We tried to block, the path of what light would have been. And yeah, I don't know. Bizarre experience.
We might as well make my damn wife a moderator in the chat if she's going to be hanging out, stalking me up in that shit. Another question up here. By the way, everybody, Tara.
She can fact check you. We'll see if you're lying about anything.
That'd be my wife. So we should actually, that might be a good idea. Make her a moderator in the chat. So we have a moderator, probably B2.
Might need to
definitely not Toby. But anyway,
so instead of Shane, she gets better videos.
Yeah, she doesn't know what Toby, I'll bust your butt. I'm a photographer, photographer, Toby. Anyway, there's another question. When did you first saw your first UFO UAP? Was this something recent, as in the past few years, or did you have sightings as a child? Nothing as it. I didn't believe in this crap. None of it. Not until I was so my dates are fuzzy, so people can call me out my dates. Oh, you got your dates wrong. You got to remember, guys, 2010, I was sick as hell. By 14, I was probably an addict, so my dates weren't my priority. So I think 18, I was in Wounded Warrior Care. Then I spent almost a year inpatient treatment, right? And I didn't believe in none of this stuff. And I was coming out of that 2020, and I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome, dude. Just like anyone who's literally leaving mental health care or addiction care, they're going to hit the ground running. They're about to change the world, that kind of stuff. And the pandemic happened. And at the same time, my I guess service connection was messed up. So I had nothing. It was sucked. Didn't believe in shit. Matter of fact, my great grandfather was a combat veteran from World War II in Korea. And he wrote a book, and he talks about Foo Fighters. Twice he saw them. Didn't believe him, thought he was crazy. I just started seeing stuff in the sky that I couldn't understand, and I could not figure out what it was. I spent a lot of time, this is going to sound weird, not thinking it was UAP. I thought it was humans stalking me. It drove me almost insane. UAP's easier, makes more sense. I thought humans were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to go where I was going.
We got something to tell you, Shane. And this is not going to be easy.
It was you, huh?
Have you ever seen The Truman Show?
That'd be crazy.
The Air Force decided to carry out an operation in which you would be the Truman on their Truman Show. And we're just fake people. We don't really love you. We don't like you. You're not our friend. This is the Shane Show.
They said, who's the easiest target? Look at this guy.
Who believes in Bigfoot and all the stuff? It's Shane.
I didn't believe in none of that. Hey, I'm not joking with you guys. I did not believe in shit till 2020. And through my experiences, I want you to know too, I posted on Twitter some video. There's not video in it, but sound. When I was in the mountains, one of my spots is Bumping Lake. It was a known hot spot for Bigfoot. You want to know why I went there? My wife, who is not a Saint B, is down in that. She's like, hey, you know what? No one, I think she did it out of shits and giggles, because I was UAP crazy at the time, just having my experience like anyone. Oh, and blah, blah. Oh, well, guess what? There's Bigfoot sightings there. Sure as shit. Lots of knockings, vocalizations, footprints, actual sightings at this place. So I was all about, hell yeah. The very first time there, that every night I recorded something. Oh, shit. Sorry, bro. Every night I recorded something. Yeah, every night I recorded something, right? And then one day I'm going out walking around, and I kept...
Do I have to cut that out of that? It's a copyright issue.
You may have to cut that shit out. How long was it?
I don't know.
Was
that a song? What was the...
Yeah, it was. You may have to cut that out.
We will have to cut that out. Thank you for fucking this episode up.
Okay. Oh, that's fine. Didn't mean to do that. I was trying to answer a question. Anyway.
Let's just sign off now. Shane got us copyright.
We out, guys. That's what I do. I screw shit up. But my point being, I don't know what it was. All I know is it was a vocalization I didn't know from this state. Wasn't a cougar, bear, bird, nothing like that. It sounds at first like it's a dog, and then it goes into what sounds like a whoop, whoop.
Yeah, there are two bears plowing, dog.
You really gonna go with that? That's what you think it is,
dude? Why wouldn't? Why have you ever heard or seen two bears plow?
No, but apparently you have.
I haven't, but I can only imagine.
You sounded like you've seen it.
In my mind.
You're a dastardly, bro.
Yeah, in my dreams.
Your wildest dreams.
Shane, did you want to play us another song that's copywritten, or were you...
Hey, if you guys want, you can put down in the chat if you think Mike is being a total jerk off. Say ha 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 ha. Oh, Chase says ha ha. You're a jerk off.
Cool. Good one, dog. I guess I had to be there.
Hey, it was an accident, bro. No one likes to play. You guys want to know what song it was, at least? At the very least?
It
Top
sounded
notch?
like Stained or something.
No. Keep going. And I tell you what, it was a cover, and the original song was by Pink. But the
Floyd
cover
or
is by a man, the first name of Vance Joy. What About Us? That's what it was. It was the cover of What About Us. Total accident.
what are you listening to? Is that human music?
That wasn't mine.
Or?
It was a friend's, man. I got a friend's iPad sitting here.
Oh, okay.
He says
Back
you want to
off
guess,
me.
then tells you the exact name of who it is.
So apparently Chase is going to be taking over the show too, Mike.
What? Your position on the show?
Probably. That wouldn't be very
You
hard,
can
though,
have
would it?
mine.
That would be hard. Why, Toby? Why you say that, man? Are you upset with me? Do I hurt you, Toby?
Dude, Toby hates podcasting. Have you not figured this out yet?
I don't know, man. I'm starting to think he hates me. That's what it is. You're breaking my heart, Toby. I'm still. You know what? I may move down
For
there
anybody
now.
watching, let's be perfectly clear here. Shane is broadcasting from my basement, which he's staying in for free, so don't listen to him.
It's a nice basement, though. Well, the corner is, at least. The rest of it, there's feces and stuff like that. It's just like you do in a basement.
I was just say this guy's basement looks amazing. It's all painted. And then you see the second where the shot ends, it starts to turn into like crud on the wall and stuff.
Pretty much. That's the way it rolls. Hey, you fake it till you make it, right?
Or you make it till
Yay,
you
nay?
fake it. I don't know.
No, I don't know. Let me ask you this, Toby. Why don't you talk about some of your projects, the UFO Expo, what we're going to be doing, and then your festival?
Yeah, about that, Shane. Security's got some concerns about letting you in the door.
I don't blame him, dude. I got a thick ass jacket.
Yeah,
Couple
they printed
crimes.
it out. Your rap sheet's like 30 pages.
Probably. It's probably longer than that, dude.
No,
I've done
no,
some
but
crazy stuff. I've done some crazy
seriously, I believe it. You're banned from Walmart. Like,
for life. Every Walmart property and Sam's Club for life.
I'm taking you there when you come here.
I thought your wife was supposed to fix that, bro.
She's
Didn't
working
do it.
on it, bro.
You know how silly it is? Like, people don't get this, though. What happened to Mike?
I'm still here. Keep going.
It's not even showing you, Mike. I was like, what the hell's going on?
I know what's going on. Keep going.
Okay, cool. That freaked me out a little bit.
I know what's
was like,
going on. Keep
we're all
rolling.
falling off except for me, guys. Anyway, where the hell was I? Toby, can you give me a friendly reminder? My ADHD's going a little crazy.
Walmart, baby.
Oh, yeah. They have good-ass cameras. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. AI is good. And I will tell you, that was back in the day when I got banned, so I don't mess around. I don't even drive on the property. That's how scared I am of that shit. Like, nope. And I can't for life, bro. I don't think anyone understands. Like, yeah, it's just Walmart. Yeah, get Target's great, but Walmart, man, you don't have the inconvenient. That's what you get for being a scumbag, Shane. Scumbag Shane right there.
Chase says you still have Costco.
You know what, Chase? You got the prettiest hair of any young man I've ever seen.
Red Panda Koala said banned from Walmart. That would hurt.
It hurts, bro. It hurts so bad, dude.
I don't even know if I've been in a Walmart.
Shut up. Everybody's
La-di-da, Mr. Target. I wish we could all afford Target.
He only shops.
Oh, no, bro. I hate Target, too.
Where do you shop at, man? Bed Bath & Beyond? You just sleep shit? And sleep shit and eat?
No.
Where do you shop?
I mean, like what? For what? Like grocery stores or what? Are you thinking about that?
You're missing the point, Mike.
I'll go to Walgreens. I heard you say that. Well, I like Walgreens.
I tell you what.
We have one here.
True story, guys. If you're a homeless person and you need a top-notch toilet, Walgreens is where you want to go. I will tell you
They
that
have
for a
codes on the
fact.
doors now. I don't think they'll let you in.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
may not let
actually,
me in now. Actually,
they've shut down a ton of them too because of
you
all the
guys,
issues that
you
they've
guys
had with.
wouldn't look. Walmart. I'm not going to name the hotels I'm banned from, and they're not just like, yeah, I'm banned from some man. Look, people,
You better let me
if you
know
don't
before we
already
bring
know
you up for
this,
UFO
drugs are
Expo.
bad, and being a strung out junkie who's homeless, who steals for drugs and only does drugs is bad. Don't
All
do
right,
them.
I've got a serious announcement. It's
Okay.
been fun joking around, but let's knock it off. On behalf of the Sam's family in Walmart, Shane, I'd like to announce you're still banned.
Shit. Yeah, I know shit, dude. Thanks for solving that problem for me.
You're welcome.
Maybe Red Panda can get on that shit for me. Hey, let's make a documentary about how unfair it is
He
that I'm
should.
banned, Red
Red
Panda.
Panda should make a documentary about you being banned from Walmart.
Yeah.
Film you from like
We'll,
the store across
we'll
the
call it
street.
Unbanned Shane. He fixed his life, Unbanned Shane.
Banned to
It
death.
sucks, dude. It's really, people don't realize it, but the convenience factor, it really sucks. Like, because think about family still goes. I can't go with them and sit in the car. They got cameras that sit outside that can still see your ass. I ain't getting that'd be a second degree. No, they told me that'd be a second degree, first degree. That ain't no fun. And
Look
I
in
ain't
the
taking
chat.
that because I fixed
Look
my
in the
life.
chat.
What?
Tara, I do a couple of Walmart grocery pickups a week, and then a laughing face.
Yeah, so I don't
I
know why
can't
he's
go.
laughing at me. Well, yeah, you're not going anywhere, bro.
That's where
So
you know why she does it? She does it to get away from me. When she needs peace and quiet, she goes to Walmart because she knows I can't go. That's how bad she is beat. She,
Jesus.
No, okay, let's get serious here.
you just
UFO
said that,
Expo.
and you weren't serious.
UFO Expo, for anybody that hasn't looked at the website or considered getting a ticket, it's a great price. I'm hearing it's going to stay $99 the whole time. You get 3 days worth of events. There's over 40 events going on under one roof. We're going to be there live broadcasting. These two are going to join me on stage to talk about the Roswell incident and the crash from 1947. Mike's documentary that he did with Maurice that Shane and I are producers on, and the real driving force behind. We'll be, we'll be making its world premiere. Um, there's going to be music, there's going to be food, there's going to be open bars, there's going to be an amazing lineup of people, both in person and virtually. I mean, it's a great value, and I look forward to it. So anybody that's coming to it, let us know, and let's all hang out while everybody's here.
I'm actually super psyched,
My buddy
and no
Tom
one else
Reed's
is.
hosting it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good. It's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna be there. It's gonna be a blast. I'm actually super psyched about anytime I can talk this subject with other people in person. It's amazing. No,
Cool
okay. I guess
story, bro.
everyone
Cool
hates me.
story,
Cool
bro.
story, bro. Cool story, bro. Hey, I was gonna tell. Hey, Tara, too. If you're listening, if you want to learn about the subject, you should check out probably Red Panda Koala's YouTube and his videos as well.
Top notch, top notch. And actually, Red Panda Koala, if you have something new coming up you want to premiere at our film festival in July, hit me up. I'll be looking for submissions. We'd love to have you on board.
About just the content. That's actually some of his stuff's how I broke into the subject. That's cool shit. Because I've only been in it for a couple years, guys. It's not been long. And I know a lot of times UFO Twitter goes cray, but man, there's still people doing good shit, and we all fuck up. So I'm still proud of UFO Twitter and the stuff they did. So UFO Twitter Week was amazing. We got people making documentaries, comics. We got people who do podcasts. We got people who do all kinds of shit. That's just simply amazing because getting the message out's what the most important thing, right, Toby?
If you say so, you're the boss.
Not really, because I'm not getting paid to be the boss.
None of us
What's
are.
going on with that?
But no, UFO Twitter Week was a huge success. We raised a bunch of money for Wounded Warrior. I feel like we held some good events.
I don't even know how
Yeah,
much.
good job, guys.
You know, I should check because I don't know
I
if I
was
can right
diarrhea
now.
poisoned, but
You were sick as hell.
um, yeah, I've never been that diarrhea poisoned. I don't think. But yeah, you guys did a good job. I was paying attention, so shout out
Yeah,
to
I
you
ended up
guys.
raising. Well, last time I checked, I should actually recheck it because I've been retweeting that campaign and kind of. So it was started during UFO Twitter Week, and it was 3,500 last time I checked. That was, and I had to up it from the original 2,000 because I was like, whoa, I may have more, and sure as heck I did.
No, the community has been great, and I have a feeling in March we'll be doing another fundraiser to pay Shane's bill in Roswell. So I hope we can still count
For
on you then.
real. You will. And Contact in the Desert, I'll be there. I'll be at McMinnville.
I'll see
I've
you at
told you.
Contact.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at yeah, we'll be there too because you said you were going. I was like, screw it. I got a couples one, so hopefully my wife lets me take somebody else. We'll see.
You guys got the room with the UFO jacuzzi.
Hey, Toby, we should have got the couples together, bro. Damn.
But funny
Toby's like,
story.
no.
Everybody knows I live in Roswell, right? And I work at the Roswell Daily Record. Uh, Marijuana is legalized here, recreational. We just ran a story on a company that wants to open a UFO shaped marijuana dispensary. So just thought
That's
I'd
my
throw that
kind of
out there because we all know Shane's going to visit it when he comes.
that's my kind of town. I ain't kidding. My heart belongs in Roswell.
You sound like you're from there, and you look like it too.
I probably look like I'm from a craft. I'm a
You
hybrid
do.
starseed.
You're
I'm a
from.
starseed. Starseed.
You don't want to know where Mike looks like he's from.
You're the you're the bald, gray-looking thing that they found outside of the crash. They revived you.
I hate you. I hate you. I'm a starseed. Don't be jealous. What do you guys think? Do you think that's a thing? Genetic manipulation
I mean,
by whatever?
is genetic? Yeah, because
No,
we're
by
doing it right
specific. You know what
now.
I'm talking about. We're gonna go deep. You know what
Well,
I'm talking about.
it
Genetic
depends.
manipulation
No,
by an
do I
NHI.
think it's happening right now? I don't know. I mean, there was probably no way for us to actually know if that was happening. But I will say this: that idea is kind of anthropomorphized through our own ideas and stuff that we do. But we do that. So if we can do that, and there is something else out there, you better believe they're doing that. So
I heard Shane's a GMO.
no, he's just a schmo. All right.
Yeah, I am.
But do you think that that's happening? Like, do you think that it's actually happening? Not like speculative, but like we're the product of that. I mean, look, realistically, I definitely believe in evolution. I definitely believe
I'm gonna
in.
give you the real, bro. You're not gonna
Uh,
like it.
hold on. I definitely think though we also are so unique and so different compared to the other things on the planet. Like, there's some things that can use tools on the planet, like animals and stuff like that. Mammals can use tools and stuff like that. But we're the only thing that makes things. Like, we make tools that make tools. So like there's like a whole layer of intelligence that we have beyond the next closest thing, in my opinion. So even though they show
So
those videos of like the chimpanzee fingers that have alopecia, and they look exactly like a human's hand, like that makes me think like, oh, we are just primates in a way. But then on the other hand, like the way we reason and the intelligence that we have, something obviously happened, whether it would be natural or celestial, or there's sometimes I think, and this is a little bit of a rant, but sometimes I think too, did something happen in the cosmos, like some sort of quasar or starburst or something happened that's like dropped shit on our planet, or did something through radiation or something along those lines that affected our DNA and changed us a little bit differently than everything else. I think that's a possibility too.
Well,
It is.
let's award the comment of the night to Tara for, well, Shane, good thing our son says John Cena is his real dad.
That is true. He does. I tell
I
him,
heard
say,
that
listen, man,
dude's.
your
I heard
father.
that dude's loaded in more ways than one too. So
Yeah, all I know is that, hey, I don't give a shit as long as I get some of that money. That's all I give a shit about. I got cameras to buy. Anyway, I got off subject because we started talking about John Cena, man. I already got to deal with him every day. My son be throwing him in my face. He's like, you're not my father. John Cena's my father. I'm like, where the hell did you get that? Thanks for reminding me, Toby. Tara,
You can
you're
thank
not
your
going to be a
wife.
moderator.
and she didn't say John Cena's your dad. She said that John Cena's the dad.
Yeah,
of
my
your
son. My son's. So I don't even remember what you were just talking about before you got me off topic.
I was talking about how humans could have. We were talking about like evolution
Oh,
and stuff. And I was
my
talking about
point
like
was, yes, I
quasars
agree.
or some weird shit could have happened in the
No.
cosmos that it could have had an effect
So
on
I
us.
agree. What I was trying to say is this. It's hard for me, someone who has seen the absolute beyond unexplainable, recorded stuff that's already unexplainable, and then also seen even more unexplainable, to just say outright anything isn't possible. Do you get what I mean? And I'm not saying that's the number one theory in my mind. But again, I've heard worse ones, and I think a lot more in depth of this, and probably, I give you shit about the woo because you should probably give me shit about how deep I go into the woo. Just like there's the material world, and then
Well,
there's
hold on. I don't have a problem with woo. I have a problem with people, walking woo out there and masquerading it as the truth. That's the problem I have. If you want to say,
okay, yeah,
hey, I'm
using
speculating,
it, like when
or
they quantum
or
everything, right?
this is a fun thought experiment, or this is a cool thought I thought about last night, or I heard this. What do you guys think about, or whatever stuff like that's fine. It's when somebody's like, post an article like this says this, and we're the genetic manipulation. There's 7 races out there because somebody in a dream was like shit, like come on, like that's the stuff where I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? So it's like I've said this before too. There's real metaphysics and possible explanations for metaphysical things like UFOs, aliens, weird stuff, metaphysical things, and then there's speculation, and then you have people in UFO Twitter that are speculating, but then adding speculations on speculations on speculation on speculation. So you're getting to the point where after 2 speculations, you're so far out of the realm of reality that you might as well not even be talking, in a sense that you think that you're adding something like an element of truth to the conversation. That's my point.
No, I agree. That's why it's also important to have people grounded. So, but what do you do when that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm struggling with. That's why I keep bringing up UAP meds. Super important to me for the simple fact of, even now, I know I'm not going to get relief for the PTSD symptoms I have. Now, the difference is I have tools and I'm mindful, so I see the symptoms and I actually can find them kind of crazy. Doesn't mean I can stop them until I can dump them all somewhere.
Well, I mean, I think that the UAP med thing's a good idea in the sense that there's a lot of people with mental health issues. And if you're adding credibility or trying to add credibility to this topic, showing that there is a real thing having a real effect on people, as well as getting those people that are considered maybe not the most social media friendly, to put it nicely, getting those people help so that they come off more able to communicate that to other people in a way that's like less intense, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I
I think
it's going to be too much for people.
No, but like what I'm saying is what I'm saying is there's a problem right now. There's a mental health problem in the country in general, and then you take into account all the other stuff that's happening, the crazy shit, and then on top of all of that, you have people believe. I think right now is the most dangerous time in humanity in terms of people believing, not knowing what to believe. I won't say that they believe this or that, but there's a lot of people that don't know what to believe, so they latch on to things and not really do their homework. I feel like there's a lot of people, because of the way that the world shut down, that started looking too much on the internet, that weren't equipped, as I mentioned philosophy earlier, that are not equipped to facilitate data and analytics and information from people from across the world, and access to everybody's opinions and things like that. So I feel like in that regard, this will help in that sense to create more of again, I'm just trying to say this in the nicest way possible, creating more of a not so chaotic or intense environment when discussing these things with people that already have instabilities and things that are going on. And by the way, and I don't know if you're new to listening to this podcast, but on Mind Escape I talk about all the time, I have my own stuff. I've got severe OCD that I deal with, so I understand the mental health thing and getting help and the different therapies and options and things like that. So I'm all about that, if that's going to help somebody.
Okay, so Jacob, yes, I am a clone. And there was another one I was going to say. So Figu 7716, CRISPR and shrooms. That's one. So he said, he's making the comment, CRISPR and shrooms were how we evolved. The stoned ape theory. What do you think about that, Mike? I kind of think that could be a thing too.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like the idea.
Or I guess you say hypothesis. My bad, guys.
The stoned ape hypothesis is an interesting one. That's what the book from Terrence McKenna, Food of the Gods, is about. Yeah, I like it. Do I think that it's the full? I don't know. I mean, I know that I've read the book. I know the arguments. I know Paul Stamets, who's considered the mushroom guy's a huge proponent of it. Dennis McKenna said that I think he wavered a little bit, has gone back and forth over the years. It's his brother's, obviously, idea, but he said that there's certain things that, may have been true, but other things that may not have been true, that kind of a thing. But at the end of the day, recently there was a scientific article that came out talking about how they used to think that cooked meat had a massive role in the doubling and the tripling of the brain size of humans or early hominids. But they know that to not be the case now. So really the only explanation we have right now that's
hybrid theory. You're right. I agree with you, Mike. Hybrid theory.
Well, no, I was just going to say that
the
main thing, the only thing that the academics have to latch on right now for that whole doubling and tripling of the brain size is new hunting techniques. So, herding up animals or atlatls or whatever, just coming up with those new hunting tools and techniques and employing them is kind of all they've got at this point. So the idea that there could have been this endogenous chemical, not endogenous, exogenous chemical intake, like, psilocybin or psychedelics in general, I think that that's an interesting theory because, I mean, from my personal experiences, it's definitely had a catalytic effect in a good way, in a productive way. So I don't know. I like it.
How you doing, Toby? You okay? I thought you got mugged.
No, sorry, my dog's going wild in the backyard.
All right, don't gotta apologize.
I just wanted to point out, everybody, I'm 4 followers away on Twitter from 1,000. So
he deletes it at 1,000.
Dude, I'm gonna go back and unfollow all my. I think 2 or 3 accounts. I'll unfollow you. Don't worry.
Number 1,000 is gonna win something. So
ooh,
and
we'll see what it is, and it won't be Shane's underwear.
Yeah. So check it out. UFO Expo. You got Roswell incident. What's the festival called? Is it called the Roswell incident?
Yeah.
Roswell incident. Those 2 festivals coming up. You got all these different festivals, right? You got Mike's documentary, which I'm actually so psyched about. Just seeing the trailer is like super awesome. I'm in that shit. It's gonna be amazing. And then I'm gonna be holding spaces on the random, doing interviews with people. Maybe I'm also gonna be doing interviews for UAP Med. So Kevin Day's coming up Tuesday. I'll be doing one for UAP Med, talking to him. I'm super psyched about that because he's also a prospector, doesn't live too far from me. So we have quite a bit in common with traumas. Reached out to Lou, Rob, Shannon, and I'd like to do a Wounded Warrior fundraiser, whether it be wherever we could do it, get us all talking. And, ideally, I'd like to have Ryan, Alex, Kevin, all of us together somewhere bullshitting about it, whether it's in a Zoom or something.
If I was
or in
directing
here.
that Kevin Day episode, picture this. You two out in a stream, No, seriously, looking for gold and platinum, and then while you're in the stream looking, no, seriously, this is me directing. Bro. No, you're not in the Zoom. You're live in person. He comes up to where you live. You guys go out to the stream. You're prospecting. You're looking for gold and platinum. You two talking about UFOs while you're doing that.
That would be cool shit, huh? Oh, damn! I could do that shit in my documentary.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, see, that's why you need me to direct.
You're the greatest producer ever, bro.
I know I am.
Toby, where are you at with that? You're fired, Toby.
Yeah, did I mention that I'm interviewing Ryan Graves Thursday?
You're rehired, Toby. Yeah, what is that, dude?
Wait, you're interviewing him for your newspaper?
Look.
Yeah, I'm actually doing a few articles. One's on UAP Med, which obviously is super cool. The other one's on AIAA and the work that
does he realize you only know how to write farticles and not actual articles, or?
Well, the Onion's been trying to hire me, so I'm probably just gonna go over
We should start our own joke newspaper. It's called the Farticles.
It'll be cool though.
It's just all I know is this: It's just Shane Banana Man on every page.
Dude, having those people I'm telling you what, having all those people in that article is gonna be off the charts.
You're gonna be in the article, Shane.
If not, will you now? Aren't you interviewing me for that article?
Yes, I'm going to interview you.
You just set me up to make me cry, dude. Can you do me a solid? Tell Ryan I said hi. I don't grovel for follows, but tell him to follow me.
Not like he follows me.
I know, dude. I know. I'm just messing around. I don't need anybody to follow me. I will tell him that, though.
You already know me.
Oh, I know.
For everybody that doesn't know, we do Zooms.
Just tell him so I can talk to him about setting up a Wounded Warrior fundraiser with all of us. I need to get Alex to follow me too.
But let me get this out there.
You do it. It's gonna be bomb, bro. I'll dance for you if you need me to.
People that don't know, we Zoomed throughout the day. I had my phone on speaker and I took it into my boss's office, and Shane was on it. You want to tell the rest of the story, Shane, or
which one, today or which time that I said some bad shit?
The first time I took you into Sarah Lee's office.
Oh, what I said. Oh yeah, when I said I knew who his boss was. I was messing around. I didn't know I was on speaker. And he goes, "Hey, I gotta go over to my boss." I said, "What's up? Is she single?" All of a sudden I hear, "No, and you're not either." And I was like, "Oh, Toby, what are you doing, dude? You know better than having me on speakerphone."
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Shout out to your boss. Actually, shout out to Roswell Daily Record. They're badass, man. Donating money to the Wounded Warrior Project, supporting the stuff they did to send me down to the UFO Congress. I mean, shout out to them. You got to get that merch store in here somewhere, because I got to start wearing more of their merch.
Listen to this story. So, like, I want to say, how long ago was this? This was like 7 or 8 years ago. I was playing Xbox with one of my buddies that I, from back home in Michigan. And he's like, we were playing NHL. He's like, yeah, me and a couple of my friends from work are gonna come play Xbox with us. I'm like, okay. And I was shooting the shit with my buddy whose name's James, and they were playing, and there something they mentioned fish. I'm like, oh yeah, Marquetti, like that one time when we ate mushrooms at that fish show, and he texted me. He's like, dude, 2 of these guys are my boss. I'm like, oh shit. I didn't know the people in the party. So like I'm playing, I thought they were just like coworkers or whatever. So like they're his boss, and I'm talking about how we ate all these like mushrooms and shit at a fish.
Shane looks like he's on a jitterbug phone with the giant buttons.
No, I was on my iPad trying to get shit done.
I have a worse story like that too, where you like those want to get away moments. I have a worse one than that, but I'm not sharing that on here.
Well, why would you even do that, dude? One of my pet peeves.
I'll tell you guys off air.
No, wait. One of my pet peeves is people who like, hey, I know a secret, but I can't tell you.
Yeah, this is fun. This would make you laugh till tomorrow, but I can't
I
tell it.
wonder who you could be referring to, Shane.
I don't know. Guess. And while you're at it, guys, donate to Wounded Warrior. I haven't said that yet.
Yeah,
And
so we don't have to see those stank ass toenails again. It looked like somebody
Mike's got that. Mike's got
somebody
that
paid a
saved
rat
on
to
his big
nibble them
screen.
off or something.
He's got it saved on his big screen. I don't know what he's doing with it, guys.
So, were
Don't know what he's doing with it.
were you somebody torturing you, pulling your nails out of your feet, or what?
Hey, I already told you for Wounded Warrior for the fundraiser, I'll have my granddaughter paint mine live.
At least your hands look normal. This guy's got
SpongeBob feet.
he's got Shanitar claws. Hoofs. That's
Is this supposed to be funny?
hoofs. You know it's funny.
All right, let's wrap it up, boys. People are tired of listening to us.
About Jane's nasty ass toenails.
No one's. Hey, look, I'm not tired of listening to me. I could listen to me for a lot longer.
Yeah. That's the new show. It's just called Shane Show. He just talks.
Shane talks to himself. So it's like every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
The Shane Train Show.
Shane talks to himself and tries not to eat his own face.
All right. So, what do we have to plug here?
We plugged most
Should I
of
play
it.
Should I play the trailer for the
Yeah,
documentary?
get ready to play the trailer. But first, let's shout out just all our family. You know, supporters, people in the anybody that's been doing good, positive stuff. Right? No one that's done bad stuff like Toby. You know what that is, Toby. Taking my feet pictures, and putting them on the internet when I asked you not to. But hey, Red Panda, Estimate. You got B, who's working with UAP Med, Jamie, who is helping us, Chase. Astral. All kinds of people doing positive stuff. So don't get weighed down in that bullshit. People will drag you in. Names will be thrown. You guys keep doing the good stuff.
Well,
People
but
need
also
to.
don't say or tweet or type fucked up shit. Don't
ever do that.
either.
But again,
don't do that.
Again, if you have, learn and move on. My point being, there's still people doing good shit. Don't say and do stupid stuff. But again, I'm glad you guys are all part of our family and being here and being supportive. So thank you guys very much. It's cool to have people that are just kind of, I guess you think the same as you, and they're just always there, always behind you, just saying, hey, you're doing the right thing. That's huge to me. So thank you guys. Except
I
for
love that Tara
Mike.
gave a thumbs up.
What's that? You gave a thumbs up?
Are you
I
gonna
said
say
I love
anything,
that
Toby?
Tara posted a thumbs up.
Are you gonna say anything now, Toby? Or are you done?
He hates us.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Shane for being a pain in my ass every day. Blowing up my phone starting at 7 in the morning.
That's how I roll. I have no
But
friends. You are it, so you suffer the consequences.
Yeah, he blows our phones up so much that if you don't hear from him in 5 hours' time, you think he's dead somewhere. So
I called the Coast Guard last time.
I believe it.
But no, just thank you everybody that's supporting what we're doing. I'm looking forward to our in-person appearances coming up. Thank you, Mike and Maurice, for having me be part of the documentary.
Yes,
I'm
thank you,
excited about
Maurice.
that. We've got a bunch of projects we're working on that haven't been announced yet, but I think people will be excited for them. You two know what I'm talking about, but we'll keep that in our back pocket for now. Thank you, Tara, for letting Shane use the internet there without charging him.
I had to stop myself
And
from
I
the
just
middle
want
finger.
Thanks, Chase. Leave the frogs alone. And
Yeah, Chase, bro, you're my boy.
thanks to Nora, Jenny, Jared, Astral, Screen, our crew.
You guys
It's
are
all
all
you,
awesome.
Mike.
Thank you, Shane, for being you, Shane. Mike, you're cool too.
Thank you to me
Toby,
for being me.
Screw off.
Because if I just stopped talking
You guys
right
are all
now,
awesome,
what
man.
would you do? All right? What would you do? That's what I want to know.
If I was you?
I don't
No.
think you do, though. I don't think you do.
what would you do if I stopped talking right now?
Me, I'd
Round
talk
of
for 4
applause.
hours. You don't know that right now?
I'm just fucking
May not
around.
make any sense, but I will talk for 4 hours.
But so yeah, no, those were good plugs. Check out the Roswell UFO Expo, March 10th through 12th, and the Roswell Incident Film Festival. What's the date on that, Toby?
We're still working on it, but the actual Roswell incident event will be June 30th to July 2nd.
Okay. And also, I have the link for Wounded Warrior down below. Please check them out. They helped Shane tremendously. And UAP Med, check that out if you've had contact with something you consider non-human or a UFO or something and you want to talk about it or get help. Perfect place to do it. And yeah, check out Mind Escape, which is the other podcast I do, and Toby and Shane are, well, Shane's on a lot more than Toby, but they're both on pretty regularly lately. But I've got a ton of great guests on there. We just had our 5-year anniversary show. So go check that out. We have the documentary. I'm going to play the trailer here as we leave here in a second. And that, again, will be premiering at the UFO Expo in March. The cut's starting to look real good. We're cutting down the time. We've got it down to about 3.5 hours. We're going to get it down to about 2 hours. And then we'll probably also have a director's cut, which is a way longer version, on our Patreon for about $5. So, yeah, that's it. If you want to follow us on the social media or interact with us, I have the links to our Twitters down below, but we also have all the Roswell UFO Symposium links on our link tree. And that's it. I'm going to play the trailer for the documentary, and we are going to be out of here. So we love everybody. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Is it real or is it not? That's what you're asking me.
I still, to this day, can't find any rational explanation for what I saw.
Extremely intelligent, apparently highly advanced, hyper-technological being.
I think that we just don't look at the perception of reality in the right way yet.
It got very close to the point that I could see just one big light, and then it stopped, and then it shot up in the sky.
You know you're not dreaming, but you wonder how real any of it really is.
It dawned on me, it was real. This took place, but then I still didn't do anything with it. Never said anything to anybody.
There is some mind-altering aspect to these UFO encounters. A lot of people get a sense of missing time.
I noticed that these three stars were kind of in a formation. It was a triangular formation.
Condensed into entities or beings that you interact with who are sentient.
The chemicals which are going into our brain are making the unconscious archetypes come alive.
How things evolve from pure energy to matter.
Definitely was kind of a paradigm shifting moment.
And as we continue to evolve in our own consciousness, we will perceive of new modes of interpretation, but that may be dependent upon how this supposed phenomenon reveals itself to us.
I'm not sure why we discredit the human experience when it's not in alignment with our current belief system.
It's important to consider that, one, we don't really understand what our minds do under the influence of psychedelics.
They all attest to the reality of some other realm. You call it the paranormal, doesn't matter what you call it, spiritual realm, supernatural, metaphysical, doesn't matter.
The fact that we're essentially vibrating energy in a sense, and that when this experience is over, that particular energy transforms and doesn't die, because it can't die. fills me with a lot of comfort that there is something else after this so-called here and now.
They show you how much of your reality is subjective and fragile and capable of being influenced by a psychedelic drug.
Coming from a scientific background, you come up with explanations that range from geomagnetic to atmospheric to something that's physical in nature.
There's a lot more out there that we don't know than we do know.
So the entire system, the human body, is effectively a stimulation response machine.
I think something's here. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it's from. It could be extraterrestrials.
Until it made a full rotation and then it just hit an insane speed and just shot up straight into the atmosphere.
I think that there's compelling evidence that psychedelics have played a significant role in human evolution over a long period of time.
That our view of reality, the reality that we experience on a day-to-day basis, seems to be this very, very thin slice of something far larger and far more complex. For reasons that we've never communicated clear about. Never said anything.
As within, so without. From UFOs to DMT.